testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, video capture device off. I'm hoping that that's the music for it anyhow. Greetings and salutations everyone. I'm Mechamac. This is Final Fantasy XIV. We're doing New Game Plus again today. Role quests, DPS quests. We did the Magic Range DPS quest, and now we do the Physical DPS quest. Lurik is in search of a partner to help him slay an especially notorious Marks, one of the 4 cardinal virtues. These most infamous instigators of the Flood, though he cares not a whit for the warriors who the light were, the fallen adventurer turned virtue Rendare was arguably the greatest hunter who ever lived. The youth would like nothing than to beat her at her own game. I'll just go ping my... I'll just go make my Blue Sky announcement. Alright, so let's get started. No greater port? What was it? No greater sport. Alright. I was considering doing this as machinist, but then I realized I don't really have a good machinist glamour, whereas this is a good one. We can't talk to them with its New Game Plus mode. How unfortunate. Lurik thinks you might just be the answer to his prayers. I suppose I could always move the Twitch chat over to this panel so I can see... Wait. You wouldn't happen to be... Yes, of course you are. 'Tis plain from the way you carry yourself. You're just the sort of woman I've been looking for. You're perfect. My name is Lurik, and I am a bounty hunter, but not just any bounty hunter, I will have you know. Nay, I am not one to settle for run-of-the-mill prey. I hunt sin-eaters. Not only that, I have set my sights on a particularly notable fiend, one of the 4 cardinal virtues, those infamous instigators of the Flood itself. Naturally, it'll take considerable strength and skill to defeat such a formidable eater, and I am not afraid to admit I cannot do it alone. However, with the aid of equally formidable allies, I am confident it can be done. And you, my friend, are exactly the sort of ally I have in mind to recruit. Walk away without a word. Wait, I have money. Lots and lots of money. You'll be well rewarded for your service, on my honor. However, as much as I am certain you are the right woman for the job, 'tis only my meat that I put your skills to the proof. A simple test should suffice. Pray do not be offended, but you would be shocked how many people present themselves falsely in order to enrich themselves or to impress others. Alright, so where's it? Rendezvous in Lakeland. It would be easy to fly there, yes. Violet Triffid. Hop Trap. Giant Iguana. What a miserably rainy day it is. Here we are, our proving grounds. You need only say a beast of suitable ferocity to demonstrate your own. Naturally, we require the bait to lure one out of hiding. Boy, my lord, got your package here. Well done, my good man, and here's your payment. Oh, this? The bait in question. Easier to have it delivered than to take a detour and pick it up myself. Rather more efficient as well. Time is money! Now then, you need only place it in the open and slay whatever comes to claim it. I cannot imagine it will take long for something to come hither. Iguana meat. You know, we could have just killed one of the ones on the way over here. I guess we wander over here so that we have time for a ranged class to actually kill the thing. Fantastic, I knew I was not wrong about you. Come, let us return to the Crystarium at once. It's not just rain, it's thunderstorms. Oh man, that's a lot of food on that plate, on that table. Congratulations on a kill well made, my woman. I say this is the beginning of a beautiful partnership. Let us commemorate the occasion with a feast. Eat, drink, and be merry. Wonderful stuff, isn't it? My compliments to the chef. Another helping? No? Are you sure? It really is no bother. Oh well. I should like to return to our earlier discussion of that virtue I have engaged you to hunt with me. Andrea is her name. She roams Norvant in the guise of Rendare, fallen warrior of light and renowned hunter of Eld. She is a most elusive eater who has been sighted in every corner of the realm. Though her movements are unpredictable, she has often been witnessed pursuing and slaying extraordinarily dangerous beasts. I can well imagine the question forming in your head, why not leave her be? If nothing, is she not aiding local communities after fashion? Alas, no, for the beast she slays rises anew as eaters, which pose even greater threats to small folk. So you see, this one wretched sinner is in truth sowing untold chaos by carrying on as she does, unleashing more of her kind on unsuspecting towns and villages across Norvant. Only you and I can stop her. So she was a warrior of light? Huh, what an odd thing to ask, but never mind all that. Whether or not they were heroes or villains or whatever 100 years ago doesn't matter to me. Simple truth is, Brenda Ray was the greatest hunter who ever lived. Beating her at her own game would be an amazing feat, don't you think? And regardless of what the Warriors of Light were before they became Sin Eaters, that's what they are now, so we're doing folks a favour by killing one. What say you, friend? Will you hunt Andrea with me? I hope I live to regret this. So begins our formal partnership. Ah, I can see it now. You and me in the heat of battle, fighting side by side. The picture of courage and camaraderie. It's going to be grand. Naturally, it will take us time to study and understand our prey. Eaters can behave in strange and inexplicable ways, particularly powerful ones like Andrea. I've been doing my best to get inside her head, to think like a hunter. But it's easier said than done. Anyway, as soon as I have determined where we ought to begin our search, I will inform you at once. Oh, is the reward lacking? My apologies. Next time I'll see you receive rather more substantial compensation. Wait. There isn't any reward for this. Blue Creek seems rather surprised to see you standing before him. Wait, it's you! It's really you! You actually came! I mean, never mind. You're here to hunt Andrea with me. Yes, of course you are. Why else would you be here? And would you know it, one of my hirelings should be returning with new information any moment now. Greetings, my lord. I'm pleased to report Andrea was recently sighted in Armoring, in vicinity of Samil's backbone, it would seem. Apparently there was a right vicious spider what was giving true folks trouble, and now it's been turned. It's about a dozen times worse. They'd be grateful for any assistance. I see. Well done, my friend. Your payment as promised. Why bother going out and pestering the small folk for news when you can employ others to do it for you? The better to devote our precious time to more important matters, I say. And owing to my winning strategy, we may now depart for Armoring, the delightfully named Samil's backbone, for in pursuing the spider we may find its maker. This guy is definitely your moron. Armoring. And then it is... Dang it, we're back to this rotten desert again. We spent the entire last stream in this place, and now they're sending us back again. This is certainly the place. I gathered those bones once belonged to dear Samil, but I see no troublesome arachnid. It being a rather large desert, I had considered hiring a few trackers to hasten our search, but I yet spy a place where such individuals congregate. Pity. Bah, nothing for it but to roll up our proverbial sleeves and do the dirty work ourselves. We shall split up and search the sands for this Sin Eater spider. Whoever finds it first may have the honour of slaying it for themselves. And should we not find it, well, after we both search for a suitable length of time, I say we meet back here. Let the hunt begin. Okay, give me this. You survey the sands, but there's no spider. Just an axolotl. The purple smoke is a complete fake out. There she is, the Scourge of Norvan, Devourer of Souls, Balam Creets. We bring this mark down, they'll be singing ballads about us till the end of time, never mind the King's bounty. Hells, we could buy ourselves a couple of castles apiece. Flanking maneuver, as discussed. Wait for my signal, then we'll strike as one. Damn it, she's onto us. Don't panic, we planned for this. We'll act as decoys while Rendare brings her down. Go, go! Wait, no, there's no need to rush this yet. Solid, always so headstrong. Bugger, my head, I can't. You forgot to bring a healer and a tank, that's your problem. No, come back here. Finish it, you bloody bastard. Finish me. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I'll not let it end like this, I promise. I'll kill that goddamn beast if it's the last thing I do. Hey, what was that just now? I've had headaches before, but the way you were thrashing about like that wasn't like anything I've ever felt. By the gods! And I thought we were just lucky to catch a glimpse of Andrea. But you're also telling me you were granted a vision of our past with this power of yours? Though, 2 warriors killed while hunting a great horned beast. A beast our surviving combat companion vows to slay in revenge. I've heard this tale before, I know it. Bah, it's a common enough sort of tale, I suppose, and regardless, she is gone. Come, let us return to the Crystarium and celebrate your accomplishment. He's going to keep sending us back to the Crystarium and racking up those teleport charges, I feel. Alright, 21 minutes. Not bad for the first two quests, but as we know from last time, it gets worse. Aetheryte, please. Another massive feast. The table is set, and so I bid you graze a glass with me, that together we might toast your spectacular accomplishment. Uh-huh. Can you do something about the spammer, Snow, or should I jump into... Thank you. Had you fill? I have another few bottles ready and waiting to be opened. No? Oh, very well, if you insist. I actually found out that the fastest way to get to the Waking Sands is actually to teleport to Limsa Lominsa and then go to the Arcanists Guild. It's actually faster to sail than... Yeah. Alright then, I'll leave you to catch any spam bots that chime in. It occurs to me, my good woman, I have yet to ask you your name. So quickly do we forge our friendship, I hardly noticed until now. Ravenna. Reek and Ray. Yes, I rather like the sound of that. Reek and Ray, daring duo, the brave bounty hunters, the scourge of sin eaters. Once we have slain Andrea, not a soul in Norvand will not know our names. They shall ring out all across the realm. But I should dwell over much on the victory before the struggle. A wise hunter is prepared and patient. It will be prudent to send double, nay, triple the agents onto the field to seek out promising new leads. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you're a gillionaire. Worried about the budget for our brave endeavour? Well, don't be. I'm prepared to fund our activities as needed. No expense shall be spared. None whatsoever. We're still not getting any rewards. And for a split second you can see the feast teleport away. Blue Reek is, as usual, quite pleased to see you again. There she is, Ray, come to rejoin her bosom companion in the great hunt. It is well that you have, for I have obtained new information concerning a sighting of Andrea on Calusia. The fiend has transformed yet another deadly mark, a great bear in this instance, into an even deadlier sin eater. And so it falls to Reek and Ray to slay the newborn eater and continue their pursuit of Norvand's most notorious virtue, to Calusia and to glory! Yeah, it is actually faster to teleport to Limsa and take a boat over to the Shifting Sands than it is to run there from the nearest teleport in the actual zone. But people got rather annoyed for all the times Minfilia would say, "Hey, can you come back and talk to me about this thing that you could have talked about through the link pearls?" She wasn't popular. Let us brook no further delay and commence our search. Separately, as before in armoring. If you catch this eater first, I grant you leave to kill it without me. I trust you will not be disappointed if the reverse were to occur? Surely not, surely not. I myself will be most put out if I lose to you a second time, so on that note, may the best hunter win. Nobody tell him that I'm level 100, so I'm going to one-shot these things. I have actually been teaching my mother how to play ninja. She's around level 50 to 60 range, so she doesn't have all the really complicated stuff yet. You survey your surroundings, but there's no bear. Despite looking far and wide, you failed to find any trace of the bear. Perhaps Lurik was indeed the better hunter this day. Oh. To the victor go the spoils, and to the loser bugger all. After the bear, where are you? Sorry, sinner, but you've come too late. We claimed the bounty not a few bells ago. Wicked White, don't tell me you're the Lordling's newest bosom companion. Hate to say it, Ray, but it seems very late to the party. Lamebird and his mates slew the bear before we could. So it's true then. You've cast your lot in with the boy. You poor daft sod. I don't understand it. The eater was newborn. How could you possibly have learned of it and gotten here before we did? Well, see, that's the problem with relying on hired help. They're loyal to your coin, not you. And you're not the only one willing to open his purse. But more importantly, Reek, what's this I hear about you hunting Andrea? With help, I mean, rather than all by your lonesome. I have a distinct memory of you storming off in a huff saying you didn't need me or anyone else to finish the job. Tell me I'm wrong. Do as you like. Help or no, you've no chance of beating me to the prize, cause unlike you, I'm not all talk, and neither are me mates. Speaking of mates, how much did it cost you to buy her friendship? Do tell. Piss off, Landbreed. Why are you still here? You got your mark, didn't you? You should choose your friends more carefully, sinner. When it all goes wrong, don't say I didn't warn you. You have questions, I'm sure. As you may have surmised, Lamebird was once a comrade of mine. I took him into my service that we might hone our skills battling Sin Eaters in preparation for facing Andrea. However, I soon came to see he's not all that capable of a hunter, so I dissolved our working relationship. Unfortunately, he did not take it in stride, and instead resolved to recruit new companions that he might beat me at my own game. Seems that his fortunes have improved greatly of late. So much so that I fear we can no longer dedicate time to tracking lesser eaters and must devote our undivided attention to the pursuit of Andrea. As such, we should be getting back to the Crystarium, but before we put to part, I have one matter to attend to in Yulmore. If I might trouble you to accompany me? Ah, but of course you will. Let us be off. Okay, where in Yulmore does he live? Of course he lives on the upper layer, why wouldn't he? The canopy. Diligent manservant, dispassionate oligarch. Ray, allow me to introduce you to my father and mother. Father, this is my traveling companion and dear friend Ray. She and I have resolved to hunt a particularly deadly sin eater. Indeed, I cannot overstate how terribly dangerous this eater is, that to pursue it is to court death itself. However, when we at last triumph over the fiend, all of Norvan shall sing our praises. Won't that be wonderful, Father? So long as you do not sully our good name, you are free to hunt whatever quarry you desire. I can do without all the petty details. Now then, just how much do you require this time? Out with it. Oh, never mind. Just give the boy my coin purse, will you? I'm sure it'll suffice for his trivial pursuits. That is why you are here, is it not? Another handout? Don't play coy, you've never been any good at it. You know, I honestly don't know why I came here. Keep your coin, Father. We're leaving Ray right now. So there is actually one point where the chi that you use does matter. It's this skill right here, Ten Chi Jin. Temporarily convert each mudra into a ninjutsu action. So the order that you use them for your Ten Chi Jin is important because you only get 3, right? I believe for AoE it goes Jin, Ten, Shi, but I'm never 100% sure of the single target combo. Actually, I'm not always 100% sure of the AoE either. Okay, back to the Crystarium. This is about level 74, huh? I'd be slightly concerned. Every time, for some reason I'm just not tall enough to click on the 8th right without looking at it directly. And no massive feast this time. Forgive me, Ray, but I would forego the wine on this occasion. Father's lackluster reception has put me in rather dour spirits. As you may have gathered from our exchange, I am a free citizen of Yulmore. Owing to my parents' considerable wealth, I have enjoyed a relatively privileged upbringing. Privileged and unbearably boring, which is why I quit the city and resolved to become a bounty hunter. I'm no fool, though. I'm well aware of my fortunate circumstances, which is why I elected to conceal them from the people of Crystarium. People are wont to jump to uncharitable conclusions. I feel as through you and I have established a rapport, though, so I thought it best to bring you into my confidence. I pray you will refrain from telling others. Now then, since Landbird decided to turn this into a race, we have no choice but to oblige him and slay Andrea before he does. This calls for a veritable army of hired hands. Alas, in a fit of frustration I refused Father's coin. Without additional resources, we've no choice but to conduct the search by ourselves. Moreover, I am rather embarrassed to admit that I can only pay you a token sum this time, but I trust that will not deter you from joining me anon. I wasn't in this for the gil. We aren't getting paid. Really? I mean, no, of course you weren't. Perish the thought. Blue Reek appears to have been struck by an epiphany. Ray, my friend! Thank the gods you're here. Ever since we parted ways, I've been exhausting myself, running all over the Crystarium, questioning anyone and everyone, hoping someone might have seen Andrea, but alas. Only the Crystarium? Well, of course, surely this is the limit of what a man with meager financial resources can accomplish. But never mind all that, for it but recently dawned on me that the vision you beheld at Rendere's pass could hold clues for which we have been desperately searching. When you first described it to me, I felt as though I had heard it before. And I had! My wet nurse had told me the exact same story when I was still a boy. 'Twas a tale of a courageous hunter who, together with her comrades, embarked on a terrible quest to slay a notorious mark, a great horned beast. They came upon their quarry in a desert. There, attempted to lay it low. Alas, the beast had singular strength, and the hunter a fatal weakness. So in the ensuing struggle her comrades were killed, leaving her, the sole survivor, to swear vengeance. Would you not agree that your vision is a perfect match for this tale? Then there can be no doubt. Rendere is the celebrated hunter, the hero I so admired in my childhood. After that tragic day, the hunter resolved not to rely upon others and instead slew the beast herself. She somehow found a way to compensate for her weakness. Anyway, my recollection of the tale is likely riddled with errors. We should ask Miss Elvira to recount it in full. She was a bounty hunter herself before she entered into our service, you know. Also, in the light of all this, I should share with you an interesting story concerning all the virtues I heard from a fellow hunter. Apparently, each appears to be driven by particular memories, moments that forever changed each of these fallen heroes. Makes sense, doesn't it? Rendere being a hunter of notorious marks in life and death. I don't know why it never occurred to me before. But if that is indeed the reason for why she behaves as she does, then the more we learn about Rendere's adventures, the better our chances of predicting where she'll turn up. All the more reason to go and see my former wet nurse. Miss Elvira lives in Gate Town on Calusia. Let us be off then. She lives in Gate Town? That sounds like your parents might have just thrown her away when she wasn't any use anymore. Hopefully she doesn't hold a grudge. Ray, this is Miss Elvira, the wet nurse who raised me for practically the entirety of my childhood. She was bonded to my family and lived with us in the city at the time, but when I came of age she was forced to leave. My, you've grown into such a strapping young man, but I can't imagine you came to Gate Town just to pay me a visit, my little Reek. Not in front of her, if you please, but to answer your question, we did in fact come to see you. There were stories you told me of as a child of a courageous hunter. Was that hunter perchance the warrior of light, Rendere? Of all the reasons you could have had... Aye, those stories were of Rendere, the greatest bounty hunter of her day, the legend so many aspired to become. Less so after the flood. It was still fresh in everyone's minds when I was younger, and for all the good they had done in life, none could deny the chaos they sowed in death. As sin-eaters. But despite all of that, me and my mates still looked up to her. We knew all her feats and swore to preserve them, in secret if need be, that she might inspire future generations as she had ours. So years and years later, when you wanted to hear tales of adventure and heroism, I couldn't help but share with you the ones nearest and dearest to my heart. I only wish I hadn't had to change all the names. Then it's true, the hero I looked up to as a child, whose tales of daring do drove me to take up the bow, as you had, to pester you for training that I might become a bounty hunter. It was her. Miss Elvira, Ray and I are hunting Andrea. We believe that one of the stories you shared with me may help guide our search. Namely the one about the great horned beast that killed her friends. Will you tell it to me again? wicked white is that? Oh, my little Reek. Very well. Even as a young hunter, Renderay's incredible hearing was unparalleled. She could track her quarry through a forest by the most minute sounds of their passing, from miles away even by some accounts. Even the most subtle and stealthy beasts never eluded her for long. A misplaced foot, a snapped branch. Eventually Renderay would know. Her aim was always good and true. As she grew older and honed her skills further, she set her eyes on bigger prizes. She became a hunter of notorious marks, and together with her comrades earned fame and fortune. As their reputation swelled, so did their egos. Only the most dangerous game would suffice, and so they resolved to hunt the scourge of Norvant, the devourer of souls, Balam Keats. But what Renderay did not realize was her greatest strength would prove her undoing, for when she faced Balam Keats, the beast roared with such force it brought her to her knees. Helpless, she could only watch as it claimed the lives of her beloved comrades and fled. After burying the hunters and vowing she would one day avenge them, she took to the road once more. She met Ardbert and his fellow warriors of light, and for a time she accompanied the fledgling heroes on their adventures. To them, she was a breath of fresh air, a vibrant young woman who savoured every moment and found joy in the simple pleasures. They knew naught of her fallen friends or how their death still weighed heavy upon her still. The party wandered the realm, performing great many deeds and growing even stronger, as did Renderay. While in Colusia, she devised a means to defend against the powerful roar that had been her downfall that fateful day. And then, while engaged in battle in Raktika, a rumour reached Renderay's ears. Balam Keats, Scourge of Norvant, Devourer of Souls, had been spotted wandering the Cetius swamps. 'Twas a golden opportunity, but to seize it would be to face the beast alone. She could not wait for Ardbert and the others, nor could she ask that they forsake their sworn duty. But perhaps it was just as well, for the memory of her defeat still haunted her. The courageous hunter had allowed a single fear to take root in her heart. The fear of losing her companions, as she had her old. So it was that Renderay ventured forth in secret, resolved to slay her hated foe, Balam Keats, alone. And with all her strength and guile, the legendary hunter did just that. Vengeance claimed, she rejoined Ardbert and the others, and never spoke of the terrible battle twixt her and the dread beast. From that day forward she was Renderay, warrior of light, and the deeds of her and her comrades would be celebrated evermore. It's strange to think that the woman I admired when I was young would become the sin eater I swore to slay. What she became doesn't change who she was. Even if the tales were a little embellished over the years, they were rooted in truth. She was and will always be a hero to me. And to you, I hope. Thank you, Miss Olvara, for everything. I promise I will visit you again soon. So, Ray, remember that theory I told you about the virtues being driven by powerful memories? If Andrea is reenacting the journey leading up to her confrontation with Balam Keats, the one that took her from Armorang to Colusia, then her next destination must be the Rakitaka Greatwood, wasn't it? Right, that's where she was when she laid low the beast at last. In the Cetius swamps, to be precise. And so that is where we shall go. Let us away! Now listen, Reek, there's an awful lot of people who don't know about Renderay, or the world for that matter. So wherever you go and whatever you see, remember not to take it at face value. Don't just accept what others tell you as good and true. Listen to your heart and decide for yourself. And be safe. Ray, was it? It's such a pleasure to meet a friend of Reek's. His parents never hesitated to provide him with all the wealth and opportunities they could. But when it came to love and support, well, all I can say is that it's a miracle the boy turned out as well as he did. One can never have too many friends or too much support. That goes for you as well, I should think. I really should find a better glamour for these daggers. These high-tech daggers don't really match the outfit. So, Raktika. They actually changed it so that you can be moving when you get onto your mounts, but obviously no, you can't teleport while moving, so I probably shouldn't have done that. Oh boy, it's an instance. When I was little, Miss Elvira seemed so much bigger and stronger than me, though to be perfectly honest, the way she carries herself now, even now, bespeaks a confidence I can't help but envy. But never mind that, we have a virtue to hunt. Let us commence the search at once, and keep your weapons at the ready, my friend. We can do it on normal mode, why would I want to do it on very easy? About time our luck took a turn for the better. There she is. Those cheek markings don't look particularly flattering as a sin eater. What now? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I wish you were all here with me, but I know it's better that you're not. We have a score to settle, you bloody bastard, and this time I'm ready for your tricks. So yeah, another flashback instance. So, heavy shot, poison, just an ability attack. Healing, dueling arrow. Interrupt the use of a target's action. Balin Keats, vengeance will be mine this day. Balin Blaster. Just wait till I hit you with one of my dueling arrows. It worked, I've got you now, you bastard. Are you sure it worked? Electric Whisker. Roaring Thunder. Yeah, pretty basic stuff. I just need to make sure that I don't look over for too long. Otherwise, I might end up missing. You'll pay for taking them from me. Otherwise, I might miss an attack and get smacked with something I really... Like, I'll let you roar again. I've still got plenty of arrows left. Yeah, just like that. Oh, wait. Without that roar, you're nothing. I clearly didn't get out of something properly. It was my fault. My failure. That's why I have to do this alone. Oh! I have to be really careful now that he's just chucking thunderbolts around willy-nilly. If only I'd been this strong back then, they'd still be alive. Wait for it. Is it the follow-up? Yeah, there it is. You can feel it, can't you? The pain, the fear. It serves you right. Well, where's this coming from? Won't let it end like this. We won't. God damn it, Render. Made it in the nick of time, I see. Are you hurt? Don't worry, I've got you. The lone wolf just had to do it on her own terms. Well, this is way more effective, isn't it? It's never good at indulging in foolishness. Don't tell me you followed my trail? I'll tell you about it after we kill this bloody bastard. Oh, and now he's got a damage resistance. Something's wrong. It's shrugging off our attacks. It's coming for me. And Render, keep your distance. And now he puts on damage. Gather around Nalbert, lend him your strength. Oh no, that's Brandon, that's the big guy. Gonna roar again? The hell's your will? I've got plenty of arrows left for you. Yeah. Well struck. Keep up at it. Keep it up. Focus, everyone. Oh, yeah, that's a messy one. Hi, Lamet. Brenda, Norbert, assist limit quickly. Oh yeah, that's a spicy hit. Can we have a limit break, please? Summoning all its strength for something big. Finish it! Everyone to me. I'll lend you my power. You know what? This works too. Together we will avenge my friends. Damn you! You almost got him. Give it your all. I think. I might just quickly duck over to Discord to make sure that it's muted because I keep getting pinged on it. Okay. Yeah, tough old bugger. Everyone alright? But I don't know what to say. Thank you, everyone. And I'm sorry for trying to go it alone. And why, pray tell you, did you even try to do something so foolish? If we'd been here from the first, it wouldn't have even been anything even approaching a challenge. Back in the day, I was a bounty hunter. I've told you that much. I haven't told you about my old partners. Together we tracked and claimed countless notorious marks throughout Norvant. We were the best in the business. Everyone knew our names and our reputation. They called us legends, and somewhere along the line we started to believe it too. Then we set our sights on Balaam Keats. I survived. They didn't. I swore vengeance, but I had no idea to go about pursuing it. Then I met you lot, and I thought maybe, with your help, I might just have a fighting chance. So you see, I'd never intended to keep it all a secret. It's just you never asked, and since I'd rather not talk about it. Easier to live in the moment, you know? The next town, the next job, the weeks flew by, and after a time I started having second thoughts. I'd lost those closest to me before. I didn't want to live through that again. Are we or are we not comrades through thick and thin? Oh, it seems to be raining a bit now. And I don't mean in the game, I mean outside in IRL, so apologies if that starts picking up. These bonds of fellowship between us must come before all else. Otherwise they might as well not exist. You say the thought of losing us pained you? What of our feelings? What of our loss? What if we had not arrived when we did? You'd saved our lives more times than I can count. How dare you refuse to let us do the same? And without those keen ears of yours, I'll never know what bollocks Brandon and Narbert are whispering about me behind my back. Ignorance is not bliss, let me tell you. Caught! This one's worth a fortune, aye? And fame besides. I'll wager we don't have to pay for our drinks when we get back into town. Oh God, it's not another night to remember. Don't you worry a pretty head over our fearless leader's questionable constitution. Take pride in the victory, for the small folk will sleep easy once they hear of Balaam Keats' demise. Until Narba's drunken snoring wakes them from their slumber. And on that note, I think it's time we quit this place. Renderay, I trust next time you decide to hunt deadly game, you'll do us the courtesy of extending us an invitation. And there I was thinking I was doing you a favor by keeping you out of my personal affairs. Selfish as it was. Oh, fine. But if you go and die on me, I'll pay a necromancer to raise you from the dead so I can kill you out of spite. Agreed. Now then, mind cutting off whatever it is you need to take back as proof of the kill? I don't want to lose our reward on a technicality. Oh, another shiny rock. Such a fine crystal. Why not hold on to it as a memento of this occasion? Wake up, damn you! Hello! What's wrong with you, huh? That's the second time your so-called gift has cost us a chance at slaying Andrea. You know what? I've had enough. Enough, I say. Yes, I don't need your help. I'm perfectly capable of hunting the Sin Eater on my own. It's past time I told you to piss off. Upon our return to Gate Town, you will be given your final payment. We will be free to go our separate ways. Okay, speak with him in Calusia. In a twist, you discover that Rendere did not in fact slay Belline Keats herself. Actually, let's read this journal entry. However, when you emerge from your vision to share this secret revelation with Lou Reek, you are chastised by the young hunter who is angry that your visions have yet again cost you a chance to slay the virtue. To your surprise, Lou Reek proclaims he no longer has need of your services and that upon your return to Gate Town, you will be given your final payment. Level 76, so no, we're not done with him yet. I don't know why I ever placed my faith in you. You are such a disappointment. Consider this the formal dissolution of our partnership. Let none ever again speak the names of Reek and Ray in the same breath. Yes, never again. And with that, I bid you good day. When he was little, Reek's parents punished him for a time by withholding his allowance. Without money to lavish on his friends, he soon found that many were only drawn to him by his wealth. I dare say he feared you would abandon him as they did and decided to push you away first. I'm not trying to make excuses for what he said. I only hope you can find it in your heart to forgive him. Take some time to think it over, then come see me. Oh, and take this for your troubles. You know, the reward that's unobtainable in New Game Plus mode. Olvara cannot help but worry for Lou Reek's well-being. I'm sure a talented woman like you is needed all over the realm, so I thank you for sparing a moment to hear me out. Since you parted ways, Reek has come to visit me several times. No, he hasn't. We literally just stood here. Though he is in blessedly good health, I worry for his spirits. I think you may have been the only friend he has had for some time. I considered journeying to the Crystarium myself to look in on him, but I find travel rather difficult these days. If you would go in my stead, it would put my heart at ease. Of course, we're not going to leave him. He's our only link to getting forward in Render Ray. Lou Reek's customary seat is empty. There's nothing to suggest he has occupied it recently. Perhaps someone will have noted his passing. Calusia, right? You're Lou Reek's partner. I was with Lanbury, remember? Well, I ought to stress, because after we left you, we headed straight to Raktika. We'd heard a rumor Andrea was there. Lambert wanted to strike while the iron was hot. By the time we were overmatched, it was too late. I saw Lambert fall, and when the Sin-Eater set her sights on the others, I fled. Call me a coward if you like, but my cowardice saved my life. Wicked white, I still remember looking back as I ran and seeing Lambert rise to his feet. Oh dear, I rapid clicked. I told them everyone what had happened to warn them off the hunt. Some listened, but a few bloody fools took up their weapons and joined the hunt. Glory-hungry imbeciles. Not a one of them returned. Didn't expect Lurik to be one of them, either. I remember thinking it odd, especially when I saw him leave her Raktika alone. You're meeting him there, I presume? Good luck, friend. But I have no doubt you're going to your doom. Looking for Master Reek, are we? I dare say you're the only one. Word is Mummy and Daddy cut him off, so there's no point in pretending to like the little shite anymore. Last I saw him, he was moping around like someone shot his Amaro. I'm sure he'll turn up eventually. Lurik, the Mistal Lordling? If he ain't sat at his usual table, I've nowhere else, an idea where else to look. Okay, we gotta head to Raktika and save him. Fellowship restored. Hey there. Ray, why are you here? Don't tell me you came for me. It's terrible. It's horrible. Andrea, she's... Render Ray! If aught of you remains, then hearken to my words. I've come to lay your soul to rest, alone, as you from yourself faced Balam Keats a century ago on this very ground. Lambert? Oh, gods, no. She's remaking the whole party. Don't tell me. You beheld a vision of my past just now, didn't you? I thought as much. Wasn't about a moment ago that I confronted them? Awfully useful, that trick of yours, though I can't understand why you kept using it every time we ran into Andrea. I can't control when it happens. Huh? So it wasn't something you just did deliberately? Good to know. Anyway, unintentional or not, at least I won't have to convince you of what I saw. She turned Lambert and those other hunters into sin-eaters like herself. A Hoom axeman, a Galgant swordsman, a Dwarven healer, an Elven mage. Looked awfully familiar, didn't it? She's rebuilding her fellowship. She's remaking the Warriors of Light. But for the life of me, I can't understand why. I mean, I understand why she came here in the first place. She's reliving the hunt for Balam Keats. But Renda Ray slew the beast herself. The stories were clear about that. The stories were wrong. What? They were there too? The stories were wrong? God strike me down, I've been such a fool. Why did I ever think I could do this alone? I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me all the things I said, Ray. I've regretted my behavior since the day we parted. It was stupid and nonsensical and utterly pointless. I'm not sure I could even tell you why I did what I did. It's fine, water under the bridge. Thank you, my friend. I hope it's alright if I call you that. Right then, Andrea should be around here somewhere, still on the hunt for Bellum Keats, I expect. Not that she'll ever find it. No doubt Lambrita and the others are with her too. He and I may have had our differences, but I'd not wish that fate on my worst enemy. He deserves to be laid to rest. They all do. Renderay most of all. She is my hero, and if I have to kill her to save her soul, then so be it. But this is too much for even the best hunter to handle alone, and I am far from the best. The only way to see this through is together, you and me, my friend. What say you? Ha! I asked for a word and you give me a nod. Fair enough. But before we resume the hunt in earnest, let us return to Gate Town and let Miss Elvira know all is well. After all, you wouldn't have come unless she sent you. He's not wrong on that. Although it would be nice if she moved into the city so we didn't have to teleport out there, teleport to Ilmore, then teleport to Gatestown, and then ride our wolf out to Gatestown. She lives right on the very edge. It's very inconvenient. Today is going to be a lot easier. I guess it's just Caster that has the overbearingly large amount of cutscenes. Ray, what a pleasure it is to see you again, and in the company of Little Reek, no less. Am I right in assuming you've patched things up? I would like to think so, yes. And it's all thanks to you. Had you not implored her to give me another chance, I might well still be sitting alone in the swamps, dwelling on my myriad failings. And you, my friend, I know not why you sought her out on your own, but I'm glad you did. Miss Elvira is perhaps the only person who truly cares for my well-being, but she has no one to look after her. Don't be silly, Reek. I have you, don't I? And before you start blabbering about how you wish you could properly reward Ray, as I can tell you're about to, know that I've prepared a hearty meal just for her. Oh, that's very thoughtful of you. Nevertheless, I shall see you both duly compensated once we have claimed the bounty for Andrea. And claim it we shall, for united Reek and Ray are unstoppable, is what I would like to say, but I know my limitations better than anyone. It would be prudent to make proper preparations at this juncture. You two shall see to it you are ready for the struggle ahead. It will be a mighty one indeed, but one well worth the effort, my friend. Can I talk? I do hope you continue to remain good friends from now on. Okay, so I can talk to her directly. Lurik wishes to confront an uncomfortable truth. Ray, my friend, my partner, I trust you already? Good, good, that's very good indeed, for before we depart to face Andrea for what I praise the final time, I have a confession to make. I may have been somewhat misleading when I intimated the tremendousness of my martial prowess. In truth, it rather pales in comparison to yours. Do tell. You must be terribly crestfallen, I'm sure. It is my deepest regret that I allowed you to labour under the misapprehension that we were equals for so long. In my defense, I must say I was dumbstruck when I realized what an exceedingly powerful warrior you are. I was dumbstruck. I can struggle to conceive of even how to broach this subject. You're level 100, man. Furthermore, I must admit that great majority, nay, all of our efforts to hone our skills in preparation to come have been entirely for my benefit, that the disparity between us might not be so readily apparent. To think my insecurity drove me to postpone this fateful day for so long. In my cowardice, I allowed Andrea to assemble a party of followers, where before we might have only to contend with one foe, we must now confront 5. For all my preparation, I am still more likely to be an asset to you than a hindrance. But perhaps that not need be the case. In discussing this grim reality with Miss Elvira while you were away, we hit upon a potential stratagem. Recall you Rendere's greatest strength and weakness, her preternatural hearing? We can reasonably be certain that Andrea is possessed of it as well. Therefore, if you were to fashion a device that could produce a loud noise at will, you could use it to secure an advantage in your battle. What I lack in strength of arms, I may make up for with guile. While it will not guarantee us victory, it will bring us one step closer. 1,000 pardons, Master Reek, but I have come to deliver a message from your Lord Father. Daddy, what does he want with me now? It has come to your father's attention that you have acquitted yourself rather poorly as a bounty hunter and brought terrible shame upon the family name. He commands you to cease all such activities at once and return to the city forthwith. Should you fail to do so, you will be stripped of your citizenship and family name. No further financial assistance will be provided. Oh dear. You may tell my father and mother the following, that I am Lurik, proud bounty hunter, slayer of Sinitas. That I have no intention of renouncing this cause, and they are free to do as they deem fit. Tell them that if they have no son, I have no parents, that I have no family save Miss Elvira, who has shown me more love than they ever have. Very good, Master Reek, I shall deliver them your reply at once. Well, he seems to be rather happy about it. Right, now that that's settled, we can get to work crafting that giant noisemaker of ours. Let's consult with the craftsman of the crystalline mean at once. I dare say you lit a fire in him, Ray. I never thought I'd see the day where he'd muster the courage to say anything like that to his parents. Maybe I should have another look at my glamours. I use the Squall outfit because that was the closest to a leather jacket that I could get, but maybe we can get better now. Anyway, Crystarium Loith. Oh, we're going to a different part of the Crystarium now. What's all this then? You got something that needs making? Indeed I do, good sir. I wish to commission the production of a device that can generate a tremendously loud sound. It must be small and light enough to be carried by a single individual as well. Ain't that one of the stranger requests I've heard. Well, if it's just noise you want, we could make do with a special blend of fire sand. I've got just the recipe for your needs. I'll need some choice ingredients, mind, and you'll need to go and fetch them for me. Fetch? What precisely is it that you require? Oh, there's this one particular beastie native to Calusia. Oh, it's got a singular diet and leaves these massive dung piles. The fresher the better, if you please. A few varieties of brass native to Raktika. Oh, some iron ore from Armorang. I can give you a list if you want. To wit, I will need to travel to the far corners of Norvant and back. Oh dear, this is far more involved than I... No, no more excuses. I will do whatever must needs be done to see this through to the end. My friend, I will not impose these tasks upon you. I insist that you remain here while I go and fetch the required materials. Wait for Lurik to return. Where? I guess we go wait for him at the tavern. But yeah, it's kind of funny that the game decided to hit us with the threat of here's a fetch quest for you before you can fight the final boss of this story arc, only to go, no, this is my job. I can't put you out by making you do this. Oh man, I'm now thinking about the absolute horrendous mess that was my quick binds in Star Wars The Old Republic, because I didn't even put the same skills in the same places. It was a series of surprisingly harrowing experiences, but in the end I managed to obtain the materials necessary for the construction of my secret weapon. The gentleman was rather accommodating. Despite being somewhat put out that I had not any guild to pay him for his labor, he was nonetheless willing to teach me how to craft the arrows myself. He said he found my industrious endearing. I must confess, despite being utterly exhausted by all this busy work, it has been somewhat refreshing. And now that my noisemaker arrows are ready, I cannot wait to put them to the proof. If all goes to plan, the explosions should be loud enough to incapacitate Andrea for a time. Let us put an end to her tale, my dear friend, and in doing so, write the opening of ours, that of Reek and Ray, bounty hunters extraordinary. Come, Raktika and Gloria, wait! Raktika, wait. No, let's use the map so we can tell where's closer. It was the place I was going to anyway, go figure. I feel like the New Game Plus is actually a pretty bad misnomer because you aren't getting... I think the New Game Plus is that you can actually start earning everything from zero again. And you can't in this case. Oh boy. Yeah, that sounds like an early search quest in Final Fantasy indeed. If I make one small request before we begin, please, for the love of the gods, please try not to succumb to any visions of people's pasts. This really could not be a worse time. Well, are you still with me in the here and now? Excellent. Then we can attend to the task at hand without worry. Let us lay our fellow hunters, lay to rest our fellow hunters, and render Ray the peace a hero deserves. The warrior looks a bit different this time, though. It doesn't look like Ledron. I'll distract Andrea with the noisemaker arrow. Seize the opportunity to strike. Here goes nothing. Well, are they defending her? We have to deal with them first. Well, yeah, that's what I was doing. God damn you, Lambert. I'm sorry you're dead, but you don't have to be such a bloody ass about it. Where's True North? And he's just running around wildly to avoid all the fireballs. Uh-oh. Am I too late? Just die already! Leave me alone! We can't stun him, sorry. What did I ever do to deserve such attention? That's it. Only 2 more to go. Uh-oh. Hold your off, Andrea. You handle the knight. Uh-oh. Where am I? This one. Get behind the knight! Ah, the bloody knight is in the way. Dispatch him first. Ow. No, Ray, now's our chance! You alright? Heads up, arrows incoming! Oh yeah, that's a lot of arrows, isn't it? Just us and Andrea now. It's time for Reek and Ray to write a new legend of histories. Okay, Tenshi Jin is about to roll around, so I have to be ready for that. Ray to me! Oi! Rest in peace, Brenda Ray. We won. Even seeing it and saying it, it hardly feels real. Oh look, another glowy rock. What's that you've got there? Wicked White, you're Render Ray. The real Render Ray. I should have never betrayed your trust. Never again, I swore. Never again. Bellum Keats, the Shadowkeeper, the Flood. Come what may, we would face it together. No matter how hard it got or how terrified I was. That's what it means to let someone into your heart, knowing full well nothing lasts forever. To welcome the fear and pain, the sorrow. When I lost my parents, when we laid the Keeper low, you felt it too, didn't you? To place our faith in a desperate, hopeless attempt to save everyone, and to see it amount to naught in the end. What else could we do but offer up that tiny remainder in a final futile effort, even knowing deep down it was worth but a few moments more? What is this? You gave me fear, and that fear gave me strength. Wait, there's so much I want to ask! I don't understand. What was she talking about? It's not right. It's not fair. Heroes sacrificing themselves for nothing, becoming villains, being forgotten. Thank you, Ray. I could have never gotten this far without your help. I have no idea who Render Ray or any of the other Warriors of Light truly were. 'Twas all ancient history to me. Why should I care who some Eaters once were? I was no better than my parents. Judging them out of hand, dismissing their sacrifice, not bothering to look deeper, it made it all easier to pursue Andrea for my own amusement. I pray I've made up for it in part by helping to lay Render Ray's soul to rest. Miss Elvira is probably worried sick about us both. We should return to Calusia and let her know we're all right. One last time we go into Calusia. I can't wait to tell Miss Elvira everything, and I could definitely use some of the bounty to treat her. My little Reek, Ray, congratulations on a job well done. And from one hunter to another, thank you for helping Render Ray to achieve a measure of peace. She was a hero to me too. It broke my heart to know what had become of her. To have your legacy tarnished so, to have the world call you a villain even still. But at least I can take comfort in knowing she can finally enjoy a long rest. Whatever others may say, we will preserve the truth in story and song. Render Ray the bravest hunter that ever was, and more importantly, a true friend to those she held dear. I can only hope to measure up to her example someday. For now, however, I say we return to the Crystarium and raise a glass in celebration. So she brought down Balaam Keats not alone, but with the aid of her comrades? It may not be the story I was taught, but somehow it rings truer in my ear. Andrea's bounty has been paid to us in full, my friend, so come, let us eat, drink, and be merry! I've been meaning to ask, Ray, but I have the impression you are rather more acquainted with these warriors of light you've been letting on. What exactly do you know about them? That is so preposterous a tale, I have no choice but to assume it is true. Offering up their lives to first cross the rift, then halt the flood. Wicked White. It must have taken her so much courage to see it through in those final moments. A courage born of not of desire for glory or dedication to an ideal, but of fear and love for those whom she had forged unshakable bonds, her comrades. I won't pretend that we have anything approaching such a powerful connection, but I would like to think that if you were in mortal peril that I would fly to your side without hesitation. Having said that, if I were tested as Rendere were, if I were challenged to offer up my life for others without even knowing it would amount to aught, I doubt I could rise to the occasion. I am a child and a fool who knows little of the world. I have been coddled and spoiled and have only just tasted the bitter fruits of life that you and countless others sup upon daily. You are made of sterner stuff, Ray, far sterner than me. That is why I know I can never walk your path. No shame in that. Oh, but there is! I cannot recall a time I have felt happier and more alive than when I have travelled with you. But you have countless other journeys ahead of you, don't you? For you are destined for greater challenges, whereas I am suited to rather more pedestrian affairs. Know your limits, as Miss Olvara used to say. Meeting her again after all these years, seeing how much older and more frail she's become, made me realize how much little time together we have left. She shouldn't have to live out her days living alone and in squalor. I have decided it will not be so. I shall return to Clusia and attend to her needs, for I would do my utmost to repay the love and kindness that made me the man I am today. Therefore, though it pains me to say it, I fear this celebration must also mark the end, or at least a tentative suspension, of the glorious partnership that was Reek and Ray, bounty hunters extraordinaire. Should you ever find yourself in Clusia, however, do come and pay us a visit. I like that in one of the last dungeons of the Shadowbringers story, you actually see all the role quest NPCs show up to lend a hand. They aren't a very well balanced team, but it is fun to see, so maybe if I check the unending journey. Okay, who wants to see the end of the Weaver side quests? We can use that and then finish up the stream, so... Mama Raju, the wealthy Lalafell for once whom you crafted and act on, intends to propose to Kokomo. Upon learning of this, Wawawaraku rushes to the guild, exclaiming he must tell the girl how he feels before it's too late. To that end, he begs you and Redolent Rose to craft a set of the finest garments so he can make the best possible impression. Craft and deliver a high-quality pair of patrician's bottoms, a patrician's wedge cap, and high-quality patrician's coatee to Redolent Rose. And then the idiot had the gall to say I knew nothing of business, to which I replied, of course I don't. Why bother when you have men who own them? When I speak to you, I expect your full attention. I'll teach you how to behave, woman. No, don't! How dare you raise your hand against a lady? Kokomo, are you alright? Do I know you, sir? It's me, Kokomo, Wawaruka. I made a few deliveries to your father's shop. Not recently, I suppose, but... Wawaraku? But why are you here, and why are you dressed like that? For you, Kokomo, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. I don't know who you are, but you will turn around and face me right this... You've made a powerful enemy today, my friend. I've never seen anyone stand up to Maju Haru like that before. I suppose they lack the proper motivation. I was hoping you would come visit again, but then you kept wearing such strange outfits. Promise me you won't do that again. As you wish. So yeah, the Weaver side quest ends with you helping out with some shipping. It's kind of cute, but also entertaining how Wawakaru is so incredibly bad at fashion. Drives the Guildmaster to absolute despair. If it was Limbus Company, then he'd have distorted from it. But anyway, I'd say that this is a good place to call it for the night. So, I am actually working on something so I can show the culmination quests for all of this. So that is a thing that we can plan for, but I probably need to go do some more work on that then. Anyhow, yeah, end of stream. Until next time guys, take care, I'll see you all around.